Have you ever tried to work with a JSON file in C# only to be met with frustrating errors? If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to tackle the issue of deserializing a JSON file and help you get your code running smoothly. I totally understand how annoying it can be when your code throws an error, especially when you think you've done everything right. You're not alone in this. Many developers face similar challenges when working with JSON data. Let's dive into the specific situation at hand. One user reached out with a JSON file and a piece of code that should work, but they encountered a system argument out-of-range exception when trying to access the first element of their list. Sound familiar? Let's figure this out together. So, what could be going wrong? The system.argument out-of-range exception typically means that the list you're trying to access is empty. This can happen if the deserialization process didn't work as expected. Let's break down the code to see where things might be going wrong. And stick around. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how to fix this issue, but also gain some valuable tips for working with JSON in C#. To begin solving this issue, the user should first check if the JSON response from the web request is being received correctly. This can be done by printing the output string after reading the response. Next, the user should verify that the JSON structure matches the classes defined in the code. The user needs to ensure that the JSON contains an array of objects that correspond to the causal list class. After confirming the JSON structure, the user should check if the deserialization process is working correctly. They can do this by adding a check to see if the list is populated after deserialization. Finally, if the list is still empty, the user should inspect the web request and ensure that it is correctly formatted and that the endpoint is returning the expected data. Fun fact, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, but it's used in many programming languages, including C#. It's like the universal language of data. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach to deserializing JSON in C# is to use the JSON convert class from the Newtonsoft.json library. You can simply call the deserialize object method on your JSON string to convert it into a dynamic object. Let's check out another perspective from a different user. An alternative solution suggests modifying your root object. Instead of having a single causali object, create a causali list class that contains a list of causali objects. Then, deserialize your JSON output into this new structure. Additionally, the user recommends using JSON.NET for better performance and ease of use when working with JSON data. Here's a pro tip. Always validate your JSON structure before deserialization. This simple step can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to resolve the system.argument out-of-range exception and successfully deserialize your JSON file. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more coding tips and tricks.